Hello and a very warm welcome to The Form. Great to have your company. Pip Morris getting a well-deserved break. I'm stepping in for the week here on The Form. Joined by Aidan Rodley and Bevan Sweeney. Aidan in studio with me today. And some great racing. Aidan, of course, track's still in a very reasonable condition, which only adds to the weekend. Yeah, it sure does. The big dry at the moment, which is doing great for autumn. And it's meant to stick that way through winter as well. Busy weekend, King's birthday weekend, of course, so it means we've got Monday racing, plus, we go Friday, 2 meetings, Saturday, 2 meetings Sunday. So it is busy. We welcome back Awapuni for the all-weather there. Wingatui, after just that mishap last week, gets to go again Sunday. And, of course, we've got the feature racing out of Wanganui and Te Rapa. We'll be providing all of the analysis that you need across the next hour or so for all of that racing for the long weekend. Speaking of Bevan Sweeney, Bevan, we say a very good morning to you too. You've enjoyed a little bit of time off too, hopefully feeling rested and refreshed.
I think with all these things, Emily, when you go away on one of those golf trips, you actually come back more shattered than you started. But if you do the crime, you've got to do the time. Really looking forward to the River City on Saturday. Some really good fields tracks, still amazing for this time of the year, aren't they? Incredibly good ground. In fact, they've had to put some irrigation on Wanganui, which is a little bit out of control. Now, I think I saw Lee Thinner's been taken away by customs, so not here this week. He is supposed to make a return in 7 days' time.
Sounds about right, doesn't it? All right, let's find out what we've got to look forward to on The Form this morning. As you heard, there, of course, racing coming in from Whanganui. We'll be previewing the action there. Plus, Te Rapa, and how could we forget about Eagle Farm across the Tasman with Group 1 racing. Plus, all your regular features, your best bets, your bank builders, and, of course, the trial files to make note of as well. All of that coming up across the show today. Speaking of the action coming in from Wanganui, let's take a look at a market for the feature race, the listed contest, the AJC Training Stakes. Before we get there, though, let's get a look at the weather and conditions. Set the scene when it comes to Saturday's racing.
Well, I think it's just process as per normal over the last 3 or 4 weeks, Emily. It's just fine today, fine tomorrow, high of 20 on Saturday under beautiful skies. So, look, they put 4 or 5 mils on a couple of days ago because it wasn't a good 4. Hasn't dried up into that good 4. I imagine these heavy dews and maybe even frost around across the next couple of days. So whether they put a little bit more on, not sure, but it'll be a great track for this time of year.
I mentioned that feature race, the listed weight for age, the AJC Training Stakes. Here's a look at the market for that. Of course, Chichilian takes centre stage, especially with those go-forward tactics. Outside of that, well, Nigella Lane, Platinum Diamond, Mr. Mojo Rising, ultra consistent there as well in the market. Bevan, talk me through the market and how you assess it. Is it as clear-cut as Chichilian, or can you make a case for some others?
Well, I think the best version of Chichilian on speed on a good track at Wanganui with the rail and the position is, I think the price is around fair. However, the issue on Saturday, and we'll get more from Aidan around this, is there's a lot of pressure coming when you've got River Plate, you've got Mr. Mojo rising in the race, you've got Electron in the race, and a couple of others that will push forward. It's not just an easy watch, go to the front and kick and win. So I think there is some value in the market. My old girlfriend's in there, who knows, at 18s, after running the best sectionals in black type last start at Otiki. So I think there is some value, but Chichilian is going very nicely, Aidan.
Sure is, and as you speak about Bevan, there's a lot of speed here. The other horse that you just didn't mention there was Kafra, who is another speed influence in what is already a strong race. So Chichilian should go forward and lead. I think the pressure comes from River Plate from a wider gate. Electron to hold up, maybe might have to be settling for a trail unless they really want to push forward into that inside lead position. Kafra right there, Mr. Mojo rising there. In behind is this group of horses who will relish a truly run race. It's a really good field, a lot of depth, Emily, and a lot of speed as well.
Yeah, it looks that way. Chichilian, as you mentioned, one of the key speed influences, is a good starting point when we're talking to connections. Let's hear from Ryan, Stacey representative for the Tony Pike stable, to find out how Chichilian is travelling along.
She's doing really well, actually, bouncing off the track and 3 weeks between runs, so yeah, she's feeling really good.
Okay, she's proven herself already at Group 3 level. This weight for age doesn't seem to be too big an assignment for her, does it?
No, I don't think so. I think she's one of the classier mares horses in the field, so yeah.
Yeah, good wrap around Chichilian, and obviously we're looking at a last start winning performance, and it was in some pretty good company as well. Group 3 company at Rotorua. Aidan, what was your assessment of this?
I thought her performance was very, very good. She's still run the quickest, second quickest last 400. The flashing light run in the race is undoubtedly platinum diamond. Her performance was nothing short of stunning. It was a brilliant performance. However, that was a heavy 9 track. We're now getting to potentially on the cusp of a good track, and that's just against Platinum Diamond. And behind them, Nigella Lane, deeper into the preparation, she'll be a lot fitter too, and she'll be one of those horses who does relish the pressure. But on what we saw from Chichilian last time out, Bevan, she's a bona fide factor in this race again.
Without doubt. When you look through the form of Archaic Smile, Lupo Solitario, a winner, a last start beating Platinum Diamond, who was one of the hit 3-year-olds early on in last season. So the form lines are completely there. The draw, it suits. River Plate is a niggle for me because this is a really tough horse. As shown last start, went to it forward, took pressure, kicked away, and they just couldn't get River Plate. So I'm not sure that they'll just go, hey, the lead's there for you, Chichilian. They'll be putting pressure on just to make Chichilian walk, which has sort of been the little deficiency there. If too much pressure comes, she has been found out on a couple of occasions, but her body of work has been great this preparation. You're completely right around Platinum Diamond. I thought this horse was running last at its most recent start, and then all of a sudden flew. So if she got some rain, which we're not going to get, she'd be right in the mix and maybe top selection for many around the country. We'll just see. She might not even line up if it's a good 4, in my mind. But out of all of that, with the track conditions, that will prevail. I think Chichilian's the one.
Another horse coming off a last start win is, of course, Mr. Mojo Rising. Let's hear from Andrew Forsman how this horse has done since that last start victory.
Really well. I think he's probably needed his first couple of runs back. It was nice to get that win on the board last start, but I think he would have taken good improvement.
What have you done with him in training leading to this weekend?
He had a good solid gallop by himself Tuesday morning. I think racing's probably brought him on as much as anything, but very happy with his work. I thought it was good, sharp work.
When you looked at the nominations yesterday, what was your thoughts leading in?
Big competitive field. There's still a lot of nice horses around, so it's not going to be easy, but happy with him, and if we get a nice draw, it's a good chance.
How does he rate now compared to the best times of his career?
Well, I think he's a more mature horse. Physically, he looks the part now. He really has furnished, and he looks a big, strong, mature horse. So hopefully we can see that consistency in his racing.
Yep. What about the 1,600 metres on what should be a decent track this weekend? How does it fit for him?
Decent track's good. I think a mile is probably his limit, to be honest, but I guess the faster the track, the better for him. I think he'll handle that better than most in the field. So, yeah, if we get a good draw, he'll be in the first 3 or 4 in the run and have his chance.
We go back and look at Mr. Mojo Rising's last win, and Andrew makes a good point. This was only second up, potentially a lot of improvements still to come, which only bodes well.
It was a soft race for him, though. He was able to get to the speed. Horse on the inside, River Plate, obviously, he was also there soft. The other horse who was on speed was Knockoff, but was 3 wide and does fade out. Knockoff does need to improve a little bit out of this, but we know it's got the ability. You look at what we saw from Mr. Mojo Rising. He had River Plate fairly safely covered and comes in 2 kilograms better under the weight for age conditions. So for mine, between the two of them, Bevan, I was favouring Mr. Mojo Rising, but obviously to counter that, River Plate has gone on to a good last start win.
River Plate's a war horse, Rod. It's been lining up week in, week out. I think Andrew's been getting a little bit of grief from the harness people saying, have you got a harness horse on your hands? You line it up every week. And he's a family favourite, this horse. They just love him to bits. He'll be tough. I just couldn't really find Mr. Mojo Rising in the speed map unless they go extremely hard, they spread out, and then Mr. Mojo Rising will probably get a slot somewhere, one off. From there, I think he's really dangerous. He's really quick and nicely. They broke 123 for 1,400 metres on that occasion. Look, early in his preparation, I think he's been at his best. How deep he goes, not sure, but as Andrew says, he's furnished and looking the part now. And we've always suggested that he's a good horse and a good horse in the making. Just won't disrespect River Plate. Mr. Mojo Rising, I think Stephen Matt is his best that day at Waverley, and he delivered with a fair bit of quality. So another really competitive horse in this race.
You mentioned the Warhorse River Plate, and it's a good opportunity for us to be able to go back and look at that Rangitikei Gold Cup win. An informed Tony Davies was on board, but really did the job nicely, did River Plate at some good odds.
Yeah, absolutely, and going really well. And as Bevan said, it has become something of a family pet. I think this horse has got a home at Andrew Campbell's when he finishes racing. However, this is, you know, a wet track, a handicap. Well, not too bad. It was a soft 5, but here's a horse who's come in on 53, now goes to weight for age of 59. It's up 6 kilograms, and just, you know, wide barrier draw. There's a few things against River Plate this time round, so like I'm going to semi-disrespect River Plate here. Bevan, he's not in my selections.
Oh, you know Andrew Kimball, well, he won't mind. Yeah, there's a couple will be a different story. I wouldn't be disrespecting him, just in the fact that he'll sit there and like he might be the race maker, and you won't break his heart. He'll keep on finding no matter what happens. So I was really impressed with Who Knows out of that race. Look, I think they went back because they were really concerned post Tarapa that the horse didn't really quicken or find when travelling to the corner. So they went back and the race had really disappeared in front of Who Knows. But the sectionals were great late. I think they'll find a better spot on a good tempo here. The good track, if we get to that, is a worry. There's no doubt about that. But I think she does go nicely enough on soft track conditions. If they run this really, really hard, then I think she'll be finding the line better than most. So I think the $18 on her isn't over, but you know my relationship with Who Knows.
We might have just found out what your selection is. Aidan, what about you for this race?
And I really don't want to disrespect River Plate, but it's a running of this race that's, you know, we've got some quality back into it, which is great. You know, weight for age races, we want to have some depth, and we've got that this time round. You even look at a horse like Kafra, who's had 6 starts at Wanganui for 4 wins and a minor placing and is going okay, meets River Plate 4 kilograms better than last time. But I'm going to go for the stablemate, probably against my better judgment. My better judgment says Churchillian, but Nigella Lane was really good at Turuturu last time out, and I just expect the improvement from her. I know she's got real quality, so I just wanted to be with her here. So Nigella Lane on top for me. Bevan, how about you?
Well, so for me, it's price driven. I think Churchillian's just a little bit short in my particular mind, and I do agree. Form analysts with pricings and ratings would be with Churchillian here, I think, from the gate and the draw at 330. I do think there's a couple of really nice prices in this race. I don't disagree around Kafra. The form's been very, very good in recent times. I agree around Nigella Lane, maybe just a little bit disappointing in the last start in behind. Churchillian just didn't quite quicken as I expected at $7, but I just think Who Knows is crazy at $18. 18 and 480 top 3. So I'm going the 18 and 480 against the 330, but she will need a really strong tempo and maybe a little bit more cut in the track. But 18s is just way overs in my mind for Who Knows.
Stick with your favourite, Bevan. I like it there in the listed race, the feature coming out of Wanganui on Saturday. We move you along to race number 3 on that card, the Wanganui Taranaki Racehorse Owners Association 3-year-old 1,340 metre contest. You can see some competition at the top between Circus Dancer, the Dirty D and Rock All Night. Bevan, talk to us about this market, because Shameless Star obviously bounced back to a win at Otaki in 3-year-old company, but Circus Dancer brings a great profile too.
Yeah, it does. For me, a little bit short, no doubt about it. Circus Dancer at $3.30. The Dirty D was the early Oaks favourite, trained off, came back, unlucky at its most recent start. Just got held up at a really crucial stage at Wanganui when Portland was often gone from the front. Shameless Star seems to never get any respect in the market. Aidan picked it last time Shameless Star went around and was right on the mark, and there was a good price around that horse on that occasion as well. So I think there's probably value around Shameless Star. Rock All Night's a really nice horse, was taking pretty light steps late. And Izzy's one I'm following was a trial watch. I thought it performed great, fresh up, and might be a bit of a blowout.
Let's go back and analyse some of the key chances in that 3-year-old contest, and we kick things off with Shameless Star, who obviously was a winner last time, and that was a nice return to winning form in the 3-year-old company.
Yeah, and it came out of the Cambridge Breeders' Stakes, which is obviously a really strong race at Te Rapa, and we like to see her come back, and we know she's got this type of ability. She only comes in 0.5 kilograms worse than Cremont, who is pretty good in running into third here. Dark Deluxe showed sort of good ability too, in for fourth. So I don't think there's a lot over these three who come out of this race, but you know, she is a winner. She's won 3 of 12, Bevan, and worth considering her here again.
Oh, she really is a winner. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think the one thing with Shameless Star is that she has a very quick, short sprint. So she'll have to be held up as on Saturday. She gets out further in a trip out to the 1340, but she's got a couple of kilos coming off her back. Tony Davies knows her well. If she gets a nice soft run in behind them, and you think Rock or Knight's probably going to go forward, Puddle of Mud might be a question mark. I'm pretty much convinced that Cremont just needs a little bit of cut out of the track and it'll be in the winner's circle again. So, look, of these, if Shameless Star gets a nice quiet run and one little look at them, she's got a very quick turn of foot, I'd probably be with Shameless Star again. Cremont, wait for a wet track, you'll have a winner.
Next horse that we take a look at is Circus Dancer. Looking forward to seeing this replay because obviously a winner last time to the race has put herself in the race. But Aidan, there's a couple of different circumstances, track conditions being a big one, obviously not heavy this time.
Yeah, exactly. It goes from heavy track. But to be fair to this horse, the previous form was on better tracks as well. This was just an out-and-out sit sprint. So 1, 2 and running, 1, 2, and there's only a nose on at the line. Midnight Train's gone on and run pretty well at New Plymouth last week, although maybe a fraction disappointing as well not to get that win. But Circus Dancer's won 3 of 6, is a good horse, has been around in some pretty good company as well. So I think should be bouncing off this, and as we said, has form on better tracks as well. I thought probably the yardstick from Barrier 2 here, Bev.
Well, this horse took out, of course, the O'Leary's Fillies Stakes at Wanganui over the 1340 as a 2-year-old, beating home War Princess on that occasion in Maricopa Falls. Now, we know War Princess has well above average ability, so the form stacks up there. And then it's taken on great company, the Windsor Park Stud, Cambridge Breeders, the King's Plate. Well beaten enough in those races, but not too far off Drops of Gold and Platinum Pantheon a couple of runs ago. So the form's there. Took out a nice race with Midnight Train in that, and a little bit unlucky not to get up at New Plymouth on Saturday, Midnight Train. So the form is there. I'm price driven. I think the form guide would lead you that way, that it should be favourite, but I think it's just a little bit short in my opinion.
There's plenty of talk about the Dirty D early in the 3-year-old campaign. Let's take a little look at that last start placing. And as Bevan mentioned, there was plenty in the steward's report about this run. Yeah,
pretty handy effort, and this time gets another soft run. With a horse who's chased Portland, done a really good job last preparation. Again, was tested in pretty good company towards the end of it. Went around, I think, was it a Desert Gold in January. So. She's promising. Just how she fits into this one, interesting, Bevan.
Oh, well, if she gets clear running in this, she wins. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The inside draw, she has shown enough. She sort of trailed up at the back end of last preparation, albeit she wasn't herself at that stage, and she was well beaten. She was unlucky second up last prep at Trenton when she was taken out on the corner and flashed home to run second. She was a dominant winner, so fresh up. So I'd expect improvement out of that. I think with any sort of luck, she would have won that particular race. If she trains on with it, I think she is the one to beat in this, albeit it is a pretty solid 3-year-old race for this time of the year to have some quality animals going around, so it's great to see. I'm with the Dirty D, Emily, as my top selection. I think second up, sense of timing, good gait, right stable, and a talented filly.
There's not a lot over these, I don't think. I've gone with Circus Dancer in the end. A lot of that's sort of based around her beating home Shameless Star in the Cambridge Breeder Stakes. Cambridge, that form's stacked up really well with Shameless Star going on to a next up win. There's a 2 kilogram swing in favour of Shameless Star, but there was more than 2 lengths between them. So numbers, I'm going to just sit there, but without a great deal of conviction.
OK. You heard it here first. Let's get to a look at the rating 75 on that card. It's the 8th on the programme coming in from Wanganui on Saturday. Market-wise, you've got Exit Left, Gold Currency, Cotton Rocker, all at the top of proceedings. It's an open contest, isn't it, Bevan? The Dave Hoskin Carriers 2,040 metre rating 75.
Oh, well, I found this race really difficult. They punted Exit Left off the mat last start, and in my opinion, it was a wet tracker. Well, it wasn't a wet track, and it was still too good. It was awesome. 16.5. becomes pretty tough, doesn't it? So just going to ease off exit left, but tough horse. Gold Currency brings some good forms. The one I'm interested in, and it hasn't had a rider declared at this stage, is Bundy, because Bundy was 3 wide the trip behind exit left and was beaten 3.5 lengths, and you're getting $18 there. The fresh up run was also pretty strong. I'm just waiting for Kevin Morris to let this one go, and it might be on Saturday if he gets a late jockey added in race number 8.
Let's have a look at some of the replays, and we start with the horse that Bevan mentioned in exit left. Aidan, a nice performance. Obviously, there's a couple of different things this time because we're up in weight. We don't have the inside draw, but beat a few of the rivals there.
Yep. Horse out the centre track is Cotton Rocker, who really hits the line strongly. This was a very good run from Cotton Rocker, but exit left going the right way. It was a good win, scores by 3/4 of a length from, I think, the eye catcher out of that, Cotton Rocker. But yeah, it's one of the key form lines leading in here, Bjorn.
Oh, it definitely is, and Meadowview's, I think, I wasn't here on Saturday, I think Meadowview's actually won at New Plymouth on Saturday, so the form lines stack up quite nicely. The thing is, exit left got that beautiful run in the trailing position, popped off, took advantage, and won nicely, to be fair. He's a pretty tough sort of horse, and he's got a decent horse's record. I think he's only been out of the money a couple of times in his whole career, but the weight is against him, so you're right around the run of Cotton Rocker. It was a very, very good effort and seems to be in career best form and finally pushing towards what we thought this horse would do when we first saw it hitting the scene. And I know, yeah, as I mentioned, I thought Bundy was great, being 3 wide the trip, copping some pressure and still finding the line strong enough and might improve into this. But yeah, exit left, the weight's against Cotton Rocker. There's not a lot of things against with the form it's in.
Let's have a little word about Gold Currency, because another who brings an interesting profile and a replay that we're going to go and have a look at. Obviously, a second resuming. It was pretty eye-catching at Rotorua, out in distance now and should be improved.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're hearing that too from Curtis Purcell, who gives us that word from track work. You'll hear from him later in the show. But this is a really nice run. Locatrine's just gone on by, but I thought fought back pretty well. Sure to be sharper from that run. They've sort of taken their time after racing on a heavy track last time out. So, yeah, I thought one of the key chances here, Matt Cameron's got a really nice book of rides at Wanganui as well.
I think absolutely a key chance, and I did like post the line that Gold Currency was finding really, really strongly. I found this a difficult race to really find the right one. I did end up going with Gold Currency for Curtis. Buying Tarsino out of a Stravinsky mare, you just think staying is going to be the overall go, and I thought it kicked back nicely once Loch Kareem went past it. I love what we did past the line, so I've gone with Gold Currency, but I don't have a lot of faith in the price, and I think you might get a little bit more on race day.
What about for you, Aidan?
Yeah, I found it tough to split between two from out of that Rotorua meeting. I overrated one in a quicker time. 3 kilograms difference to what they carried the other day. So I have landed on Gold Currency, but overrated will get to the front and be in this for a long way as well. But Gold Currency for me.
We need a best of the rest, and Aidan, you can give me one of those.
Yep, I'm going El Barossa. I really like what we saw, just this stretch late last time out at Tohuniko. So gets into a really winnable race, race 5. And I just thought was beautifully placed. It's a race that doesn't have a great deal of depth. Landman was the winner last preparation, fresh up, but I was happy with the way this fitted El Barossa.
Oh, Rosie Myers is going to kill me because I'm going with Great Escape again after it pulled up in the last 50 metres the other day when every man and his dog was on Great Escape. But there's a couple of kilos off. I think they learn a little bit from last start. The sprint might not be 300 metres long, but just a couple of metres, 100 metres long. So it should get held up nicely by Floor Mormon. I don't really see much that can beat Great Escape, but we said that last time, 240 short.
I just want to know whether Stephen Hunt and Justin Evans are also on Great Escape, because then I'm definitely not getting involved. That seemed to be the losing formula. Better luck this time, Bevan. We're going to take a break here on The Form, but stick with us, because on the back of this, we head up north to the Waikato and we cover off Te Rapa. Into The Form, and as promised, we're going to get you to a look at Te Rapa shortly. For now, though, let's have a little look at the trial files. Aidan, you can kick us off.
Yeah, going with the Perfect Ram, who was successful in the second heat at Te Awamutu on Tuesday. This horse just runs them along. Paul Pertab, he does a really good job with his 2-year-olds. And also, there's 4 lengths between first and second, 8 lengths between second and third, and the time was very, very good. You can see there on the line, a fair bit in hand as well. The Perfect Ram, one to follow.
Gee, there's some blue buds going around these particular trials. I agree with trial 2. Here's Ace Tycoon by Written Tycoon for Mark Forbes. I loved what happened when they asked this horse to let go, because this horse exploded off sort of a mediocre tempo and left everything else standing. That is super impressive, the sort of acknowledgement of the urgings of the rider there. Burst Away is a horse to follow. The Cult by Written Tycoon, Ace Tycoon, Mark Forbes.
Geez, he's got a beautiful big stride on him too, hasn't he? Ace Tycoon, one to note down for Mark Forbes, and Aidan, the Perfect Ram, Paul Pertab. It was a good afternoon at the Te Awamutu trials. Certainly worth going back and having a little look at that. We promised you a Te Rapa preview, and that is where we get you off to next. First things first, though, we need to check out the weather conditions, track conditions, and set the scene. Aidan, paint the picture for us in the Waikato.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty good. Not a great deal of rain leading in, so yeah, the track at Te Rapa's played beautifully in the last few meetings as well. It's starting to get a little bit busy. There's a little, maybe a smidgen of rain midway through Saturday, but not enough to make any big difference here. So yeah, this should be ideal. And the rail goes back into the true position.
It sure does. Let's have a little look at the first race that we study, and it is race number 5, the Fleet Image, celebrating 50 years in business handicap. And top of proceedings, Little Bit of Love, Udurzo, Jira in there as well. An open contest to start Te Rapa off in terms of our previews, Bevan. What's your assessment of this?
I agree it's an even race. I thought Little Bit of Love might be a little bit shorter in this market, actually, off its fresh up performance. I thought it was really good. Only goes up half a kilo, same rider. The only one I thought that might be a little bit shorter is Reza as well, but it's certainly an even race, Aidan.
Yeah, it really is. There's just no speed in this race, which is a little bit of a concern. Because of that, it really is a messy map. Aguirre's a possible go-forward horse. Butterfield, who's also a dual acceptor, another one who could go forward. Super Photon led 2 starts back, and Prevue's got a little bit of speed as well. The one horse I wondered about was Udurzo. At this meeting last year was able to go to the front and lead and win by 3.5 lengths. If they adopt the same tactics on Udurzo in a race without a lot of speed, I think this is a race that Udurzo could take by the scruff of the neck.
Certainly worth looking at. Let's start off with getting out to our connections and finding out how the Wexford pair are. We start with Little Bit of Love, and we are stable representative Liam Very. How the horse has done since that last win?
Yeah, he's come on well, trained on well. Udurzo's come on as well, so he's on the back up, and yeah, they're both good chances.
Yep. How did he come through that Ellerslie run, Udurzo?
Yeah, he's good. He's an old boy now. He knows what it's about, and yeah, the backup's probably what he needs these days. He's on older legs, so yeah.
And what about Little Bit of Love? What have you done leading into this one?
Just kept him fresh. First up he was great, so yeah, if he can repeat that, he's every chance.
Just a change of track conditions, the better track, how does that affect the chances?
He's pretty versatile. A Little Bit of Love can go on anything. His form shows that. Udurzo probably wants a firmer deck, so should go right.
Okay, split them for us, Liam.
No, I can't split those two. No, probably a Little Bit of Love.
He said, no, I can't split them, and then he went with a Little Bit of Love. I like the commitment. We're going to look at Little Bit of Love here. Obviously made a pretty good impression fresh after a decent break.
Yeah, I like looking at this video too, Sweens. We can replay this one as much as we like. It was a very good win. Was on a heavy track. The difference this time around is obviously we get to a firmer deck, and while there should be improvement, here's a horse who's won 4 from 8 at Te Rapa, loves the place, but I think also prefers maybe the sting out.
Yeah, A-Rod produced this show, so he's putting forward every video that has had a winner over the recent times. Peter Didden just texted me, he says $7, Shameless Star won't stand up, so get involved as well. Little Bit of Love was great that day, showed true grit and determination. I'm not quite so convinced if the track got into a good 4, it would suit a Little Bit of Love as much as Udurzo, but hey, can't not winning form in this type of race, and the weight seems to suit with Aguirre really helping the remainder of this field out.
There's an interesting horse in that field that we don't know a whole lot about in the form of Bright Stripes from the team Tiakau. Let's find out a little bit more about the European galloper.
He's got really good form in Europe. He came down to the Cranbourne barn and couldn't really fire, so he's back here in New Zealand now. He's had a good slow build-up. I thought his trial there at Taupo, albeit it was pretty quiet, but he hit out nicely. He's come on since. His work here was good yesterday morning on the plough, and I think he'll probably need the run and probably look for him at the mile and post-Saturday, but he's in good order and he's going the right way.
Have you seen sort of maybe a change of environment sort of sparking him at all?
Yeah, his work's been good. I certainly can't fault him here at home. He's bright and well. He's on the toe, and he seems to be enjoying life here in New Zealand. So fingers crossed we can turn that form around. His form in Europe was really good as a younger horse. So if we can find that, he should be very competitive.
We know what they say, a change is as good as a holiday, and hoping that works the oracle with Bright Stripes. Obviously, 145,000 guineas purchase out of the Tattersalls horses and training sale.
Yeah, had been a listed winner there multiple times, Group 3 place, but just never fired in Australia. Just doesn't have any tactical speed, and in a race without any speed here, for a horse who hasn't won for 2 years, I'd just be watching, maybe looking for signs of improvement further down the track. I found this a really difficult race. In the end, I was tossing up between the two Wexford runners. Out of loyalty more than anything, I've gone with a little bit of love. I was able to make it a best bet and get it home at a decent price last time, but I thought Aduzo was probably the big danger, especially if they take this race by the scruff of the neck.
You can't give up on your one $10 shot in the last 25 years, eh, Rod? So a little bit of love had to be the one. I've got no idea about the Tiakau horses. I can't even comment because I'm not sure what will happen there. But I'm with you. I'm following you in. A little bit of love, I think, will back up a really good performance fresh. I think the preferred of the two O'Sullivan and Scott runners in the race. So a little bit of love.
Let's preview the next of our races, and it is race number 3, the 3-year-old 1100 metre event. Transport in general, the sponsors, and as we look through competitors, obviously General Minari comes up as the favourite at 370, but you've got competition in the form of Lubeck, Mar in there as well at 550, all with a key chance. Ruby Rush, even an ultra consistent type. Bevan, what's your opinion on the market and the prices that have been selected around some of these key chances?
Oh, I didn't really get an opinion on these prices. I thought Ruby Rush could have started favourite, actually. So, yeah, I didn't know where to put them, actually, Emma. I think I'll just go with the bookmakers on this. I thought it was a really difficult market to price up.
Obviously, Wexford have another strong hand in the 3-year-old event. Aidan Rodley was out at track work and asked how the pair were.
Yeah, both going well. They both worked well yesterday. We're pretty confident they should be good chances. So, yeah.
General Minari now starting to really justify the early opinion of him now, isn't he?
Yeah, he had a bit of a rap on him early and the pennies kind of dropped. So, yeah, he's going on with it.
Yep. What did you ask of him training this week?
He just worked with Ruby Rush and run home in 40 and, yeah.
Yep. Well, what about her? How's she doing?
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, she hasn't gone backwards and she probably wants a bit of rain, but no, she's every chance.
How's the stable confidence for the pair of them this weekend?
Oh, we can't split them, but probably slightly towards General Minari.
General Minari from the stable. The replay we look at first is Ruby Rush, and obviously model of consistency in terms of what this horse is doing. And Bevan makes a good point around the price.
Yep, barred two wins from the last 3 starts. She's just going the right way. So what's making this a little bit difficult as well is, here at 10:30 on a Thursday morning, there's only 5 jockeys declared in a field of 9. Does that mean that the other 4 aren't starting? And what happens in that case? It's difficult, to really get an understanding about how this race is going to take shape. She's going well, Ruby Russ, and she's got ability, but there's a few balls up in the air in this one, Bevan.
Oh, she can really quicken on wet ground, can't she? So I think she's a horse to watch out through out the winner. But I don't think she's hopeless on better ground. I think the draw really suits me. She's going to put herself right there. Craig Grills is back from holiday in Bali, so he'll be ready to rock and roll again. I did really like her performance. I think she is a talent for the winter, just depending on how far the O'Sullivan and Scott team take Ruby Rush into it.
Yeah, you mentioned the O'Sullivan-Scott team, and as we highlighted, obviously they've got a strong hand in the race, and we thought it was only fair to show General Minari as well. This is, of course, that victory and brings a good profile and a well-deserved victory too, this was.
Yeah, it was a really nice win from a horse who's going well. Quickest last, 8.64 and 2 in the race. It was a race where the race shape did favour General Minari. The horse who fights really well for seconds, Miss Moadall, who's gone on to run a Cambridge Polly second last time out as well. So, yeah, everything going okay. Just a trickier barrier draw this time for General Minari, who goes from 3 and 2 in the last couple to the outside of 9 here. But as we said, how many start here? It's a big unknown, with a couple of days out from the race.
General Minari, I don't know what it is. When you're doing form, you should be A, B, C, D, but sometimes a horse gets under your grill, and this was so expensive, this horse, over a period of time for me, Hayden. General Minari, and then he won last start at $3, can't get my money back. Look, they've had a big rap on him for so long, and I think he clearly is a good horse in the making. He just was playing on a couple of occasions when we expected him to blow on by, so... I'll go with Ruby Rush on Saturday and just watch General Minari win more than likely.
For me, I'm going Lubeck. This is one that Stephen Marsh has declared a jockey for, which sort of lends me to think that maybe the other 3 are coming out. Who knows? I thought the last start run against the race shape was terrific. Third up for the preparation, just has to be a lot fitter. I was really keen about Lubeck's chances, and I'll be making it a bet.
Let's move on to race number 8 on the card. It is the Roy and Pam Brown Sprint, and this one, of course, rating 75 grade over the 1,200 metres. Scalera, $3.70. Like this horse, looks to have a good bit of upside. Prudenti on the second line. She's all that. Erin Gobra in the mix as well. Bevan, market opinion here. Scalera has always shown a bit of upside.
No, I'm with the market here. I think Scalera is the upside horse in this particular race at this particular time. I'm happy enough with $3.80, the favourite here.
Alrighty, so let's get into a look at Scalera. We don't go back to any of those recent starts. We take a look at the Tiamudu trial, and this no doubt has set this horse up nicely for a return.
Yep, last seen on the 1st of March at the races, but this trial was terrific. We saw... some real ability in the first preparation, but this just says that this horse is ticking over beautifully. I spoke to Jim Collard earlier in the week, and he's really happy with the way that she's progressed. So she does pull up a little bit there at the line, but I think that's more about having her ready for race day, and I think she'll be bang on for this, Bevan.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. I don't need to add any more. I'll just say that Scalera is my top selection, and if I had to have an absolute best bet on the program out of Tarapa on Saturday, it would be Scalera. I think she's very, very talented in the making. Out of that race as well, Test 1, Wait for Rain, he'll be winning. He's a really good horse for the Larry and Zeidenbush team as well.
And Aidan, what about for you in terms of selections for that race? I'm assuming Scalera too.
Yeah, I've gone with Scalera on top. Probably not as much of a standout. Like live on air the other day was superb, heading in line with all the best sectionals. Vieni Sue with a tricky barrier draw, but was just the same last time out. And Jethro Tull's a horse who really does like Tarapa as well. But I've gone Scalera, not with any great conviction, but you've got to respect what we saw from the trials.
I'm going to put it straight back on you because they need a best of the rest. And what have you selected on the undercard for us at Tarapa?
Again, it's an undercard with a fair bit of depth, so just trying to, find something that we are really liking. In the end, I've gone with Gin and Beard. I know it's a horse who is dual accepted. It could race at Tauranga on Friday. But was terrific at the trials, was pretty good on debut. I just think it's a horse with a little bit of quality. I'm liking its chances in the second.
I found it really difficult. I went eventually race number 6. It's a 65 mile, and a horse called Getaway, followed by Sham Express for Windsor Park. Curtis Pertab trains Masters aboard. I thought it was a really good win on debut. Then was only 2.5 off Circus Dancer at Rotorua and didn't have much luck in the run on that occasion. Good draw, Master aboard. Pertab stable going nicely. Race 6, number 8.
travelling all around the country on the form this morning because we're going to take you to Wingatui next. Obviously, we've got Waireo Cup Day, a really big, full programme coming out of Wingatui. Looking forward to that on Sunday. Talk to us about weather conditions, slightly maybe wetter conditions that we're getting up north.
Yeah, it's obviously heavy 10 at the moment. There's not a great deal of rain leading into the meeting, although on Sunday there's just potential for a couple of mils there as well. Obviously, they need to get it right. The track wasn't right for the last meeting, so we are just a matter of days later, and hence why we've got the bigger program. A lot of those horses that didn't get a run at the abandoned meeting last week will now get it. Obviously, they were out on sort of new ground with the rail a long way out, with a lot of horses, ground that hadn't been galloped on a lot. So they'll be mindful of getting this one bang on for this weekend.
Let's look at the feature race on the card, and it is, of course, that AB Lime and Hyde Landscaping Waireo Cup. And as you can see, Riviera Rebel at the top of proceedings, Amanda Wren, sixes, but we've also got Prince Albie, Miss NZ, Taimari Diva even in the single figures in behind as well. Aidan, we'll get to you with the speed map influence. Who's going to inject some speed into this contest?
You'd think from the inside that Riviera Rebel, a horse who's won a Canterbury Gold Cup from the front, maybe not in his absolute best form. He'll go forward. Miss NZ's the other one who from a wide gate, I think they'll roll the dice, and behind them, Vamos, PC Pussycat, Taimari Diva back from a northern campaign, and Maximus Augustus all there. It means there's a fair bit of pressure. It means these horses who are back and running, I think, get their chance. This should be truly run.
Let's go back to the replays and take a look at one of these contenders. Is Amanda Wren, winning last time to the races. This, of course, the daughter of Turn Me Loose, and mid-April was the last time we saw Amanda Wren, and had a little bit of time between runs, but this was a tidy effort.
Obviously handled similar type conditions this day, and you can see the margins between them. There's enough in this performance from Amanda Wren, who was third up this day, to say that will be really competitive again. Drops a kilogram in weights, makes a lot of those other horses worse at the weights. Prince Albie, who maybe was a little bit unlucky in that race, comes in a couple of kilograms better, but that was on a like a 6-length margin. So they've got a bit of turning around to do on Amanda Wren. In the end, that's the way I said it. I thought Amanda Wren was probably the horse to beat. Real respect around Prince Albie, and some depth to this race as well. But I was happy to be there, going for some sweetness there. Bevan, how about you?
I just thought you had to be a genius to find the winner of this particular race. It is very, very competitive. I eventually ended up with Amanda Wren, but I wasn't convinced any which way at all. I'll get Hunter to run some numbers and see what falls out of that. But yeah, I'm with Amanda Wren, but I had no confidence. I thought one of 8 or 9 could win this race.
Let's have a look at another race on that card coming in from Wingatui on Sunday, and it is the 7th, the More FM Open Handicap. And I guess we're sort of guided towards a horse like Sir Sterling here at $7, who's been racing well. 6 places, 4 wins since making the venture down south, and finds similar conditions to that outing when a winner at Riverton.
Yep, should be able to get somewhere near the speed as well, which will be set here by Rochelle. You'd think that they'd get handy. Flash Rocket likely to get forward. Thomasina maybe somewhere near them as well. It's a really competitive race. Betty Spaghetti's been going around in some really good company with third in that $350,000 Southern Alps Challenge going back 3 starts. Rochello's been a model of consistency in recent starts, and we know the ability of Martel, but he just hasn't been firing. He's been chasing Sir Sterling in the last couple. Sir Sterling may well be the benchmark here.
Certainly looks that way. So Sterling for Robert Dennis's Aiden's selection there, coming in from Wingatui. All of that action on Sunday. For now, let's move along because we need to get to our black bookers. And Aiden, we start with you. Who have you earmarked for us for this week?
I've gone for one out of the Poly meeting, and Del Zabel, who got off the speed. This was definitely an on speed race, but boy, this horse got home quickest last, 8-6-4 and 2 against the pattern of the race. And here's a horse who has had now 5 starts on the Poly at Cambridge for 3 wins, 2 minor placings. Will probably head to that next Poly meeting and should take some real stopping.
Geez, I know I'm south of the Bombay Hills, Rob, but you left me out of the previous on Penvo's Lad. I think it's a great chance in the second race out of Taco. Emily and I are in the same race. We'll see. I think they're both winners, actually. Absolutely. Commotion got held up and is a little bit unlucky, and I think it'll be really close to winning at its next start. And Emily caught the eye with one other in that race.
I sure did. I'm Bartholomew, I thought, was resuming that day at New Plymouth, and track conditions maybe not ideal, and potentially as the tracks get wetter over the coming months, then I'm Bartholomew could be a horse to follow and would find some nice improvement second up. So that's a look at our black bookers for this week. We progress on. We're going to get you to a break. On the back of that, well, we've got to get across the Tasman, haven't we? Because Group 1 racing is coming our way from Eagle Farm. You're back with us on The Form, and as promised, we get you across the Tasman because there's some pretty important racing coming in from the Eagle Farm as the Queensland Winter Carnival rolls on. Obviously, we put a big focus on the Group 1 racing coming in from Eagle Farm this weekend, and how could we forget about that Derby, plus, of course, the Kingsford Smith Cup, all to look forward to. Here's a look at the market for the Sky Racing Queensland Derby, and it's pretty open, and it's good to see Solid Gold on the third line.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a really tricky barrier draw, and we'll find out more from Robert Wellwood very shortly about just where they sit with that barrier draw. Providence was good last time out in chasing home Kilman in the Rough Habit Plate. Boy, she's just been terrific right through Solid Gold. I really like what she's showing, and love to see her run a bottler here for the Kiwi connections.
Yeah, you'd only think she's going to relish getting up over that distance as well. So lots to look forward to. Let's hear from the connections now. Robert Wellwood standing by.
Yeah, look, she's really well. Looks great. Obviously, the wide draw's a niggle. We've sort of battled with that this whole campaign with both her and Swainest Day, but and the weather's a little bit of a concern. We've just got to toss up. We've got the Oaks next week as well, so we'll have a bit of a team talk later in the week. But the filly's flying, and if she lines up, she's in nice order.
What have you asked of her in training since the Rough Habit?
Not a lot. She had a nice piece of work on the course proper at Eagle Farm yesterday morning. All accounts she worked very well. Roger's over there with her, but I left Monday morning. She looked great, and I think wherever she lines up next, she's going to be very competitive. Just still yet to make a decision whether we run in the Derby and Oaks or perhaps even both.
Just a little bit of uncertainty there, isn't there, that we're getting from Robert Wellwood. Just maybe they are looking at holding fire in 7 days, but you roll the dice and do that, and then you draw 20 in the Oaks, and what happens. So obviously, great Waikato stud factor there. I've gone with a Waikato stud bred horse in Kilman. I thought was terrific in the Rough Habit Plate, and at a double figure price, I thought offered real value in the Derby.
Yep, the Roger James Robert Wellwood stable has been flying, so we wish them best of luck with Solid Gold come the weekend. Kingsford Smith Cup is the next Group 1 feature we get to at Eagle Farm. Jimmy Star, top of proceedings, $4.80. You just get the impression that it's all about tempo for Jimmy Star. It's about how the race unfolds and if it sets up for him with that off speed pattern that he has. Yeah,
absolutely. He was terrific last time out as well, and it was in the Doomben 10,000. He's made really strong late ground there too. I just couldn't see Desert Lightning in the market there, but I guess all go. Boy, there was some sort of win at Group 1 level in Adelaide last time out. Peter Moody was predicting it at a big price, and for Kiwi connections, I thought Desert Lightning was a big chance. Definitely starting. What sort of price are we getting? It must be massive.
What do you make of the price around Rothfire? Because obviously brings last start Group 1 form, but he's double figures.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just been a marvel, and it wasn't great to see that emotion from Robert Heathcote afterwards, and just to see that it's just been a great journey with Rothfire, and $27 around Desert Lightning, which is
loving the money.
Mind-blowing.
Thanks for the tip.
Mind-blowing.
Let's get to the Fred Best Classic on the undercard at Eagle Farm. Obviously features a horse that we know reasonably well from here in Platinum Pantheon, but top of proceedings, Brave Monarch, Skyhook, 60s Speedman, competitive it is through the top end.
This is a really good quality lineup. I thought we saw a pretty good effort from Platinum Pantheon last time out in the Guineas there, ran a pretty brave race for 6th, went to Australia in very good form, winning and then running a great second in the Cambridge Breeders' Stakes. It's a competitive race. So, boy, these horses who are coming out of Group 1 races. I've landed with 60s, who was last time round in a Doncaster. Has won 5 of 11 for Chris Waller, who's just winning everything at the moment. So, yeah, 60s for me on top at a nice enough price too.
Good stuff. Some money to be made when it comes to the action at Eagle Farm through Aidan's selections. Another horse to keep an eye out on throughout the weekend, not racing on Saturday, but Sunday is, of course, Crouch. And I'm looking forward to seeing this horse step out.
Yeah, big day at Sandown on Sunday as well with Australian hurdles and steeples. But we saw enough from Crouch last time out in the Andrew Ramsden to think would have to be a decent chance in the race. Had sort of prepared for that with a terrific run in the Hawke's Bay Guineas. So great to see Mike Breslin and his connection rolling the dice and having a good go. It is a competitive race. 3,200 metres will be the test, but the way that this horse is progressing, I think he's well worth having a look at.
It's time for our bank builders here on the form this morning, and let's start with you, Aidan. Build our bank.
Yep, one we've already spoken about in that 3-year-old race at Te Rapa. Really liking the chances of Lubeck, especially if this field falls away, which it may well do. This horse will be on speed and should be kicking. Just really liking the way this horse is building into the preparation. So race 3 at Te Rapa, Lubeck for me. Bevan, how about you?
I'm taking you to the River City and a first starter for Robbie Patterson. I showed you this trial, I think it was last week. It just ran away and hid at Foxton on the 12th of May. My only slight niggle is it was a soft track with rain that day. Still ran pretty good time, and the other trial was on heavy track conditions. So it'll be interesting, but it's beautifully bred by time test out of a lower one of Little Avondale's mares, and both trials have been great. Has come up favourite 360, which is always a little bit niggly, but I think a massive chance of winning on Saturday, race number 4 at the River City.
Good stuff, Bevan. Thank you for that. For now, we need to get you to a break. Don't go anywhere, though, because on the back of this, we're going to sink our teeth into the rest of our previews. And, of course, we leave you with our best bets.
Keen on Pounce in the 2-year-old race. Trialled well, worked very well here on Tuesday morning. Team's really pleased with it.
Pounce has done exactly that. It's pounced on them. Pounce out on the outside from De-Oyster, the inner, and then followed in behind them next as they head down the straight is Via Fontanella, but Pounce impressive, won it nicely.
They've got a really nice gelding, more to think about. He's just improved each run. He went very good at LSE last start.
More to think about in Denver as they go towards a line. Oh, nothing in it. More to think about in a photo with Denver.
Oh, sweaty palms, watch this, and you can breathe a sigh of relief if you're on the favourite because it has got up right on the line.
I'll take you to Ellerslie and Bulgari, who was close up at his most recent start in a stronger field. He doesn't win out of turn, Bulgari, but very, very talented.
Bulgari out wide, Accentuate closer in. Bulgari, Accentuate, late run has to rock Bulgari. He's too glassy.
As you saw there, the team churning out some winners this week. Hopefully you got involved in all of those. We need to take a look at the cover of race form. And of course, Mr. Mojo Horizon is the star of the show this week, obviously taking its place in that AGC training stakes at listed level, the weight for age over the mile. Mr. Mojo rising for race form. All right, we leave the race form cover and we get you off to our trainers' tips. Let's find out what they're liking this week.
Dark Jerk, it might not be Friday, but he's one to follow anyway.
I've got Gin and Barrett either Friday at Tauranga or Saturday at Te Rapa.
We'll go for Catwalk Queen. It just has to get in, but trialled well.
This week we'll go Pine Leaf, Maiden 1600 Te Rapa.
Not Usual Moana. Skillier is running on Saturday. Even from a wide draw, I'll be running him.
Gold Currency in the 75 2000 at Wanganui Saturday.
Yeah, without seeing the fields there on Monday, I think Pukuru Gold, with a bit of rain about, if he finds the right conditions, obviously, like I say, haven't seen the competitors yet, but he's going really well, so he should run well.
Yeah, the team giving us their insight. Liam Verry, of course, from the Andrew Scott and Lance O'Sullivan stable. Jonathan Richardson from Sam Logan. Hopefully some winners for you there. You're able to take a screenshot of that and enjoy the weekend of racing. That's the trainers' tips. It's now time for our team's tips. And Aidan, we'll start with you.
Yep, we are trying to get that trainers' tips sponsored. I was hoping it would be through this week, but come on, trackside team, let's make sure it happens for next week. My best, I'm going to be following Sam Burgesson's lead and going to Monday to Just the Berries, who has been so impressive at the trials. So he's had 3 trials. The last 2 of them have been impressive wins. Heads to the 2-year-old race and looks to be awfully hard to beat. So going to Monday, those fields not quite just out as we look at the website, but won't be too far away. Just liking that one on Monday.
I'll take you to race number 2 at the River City. Gee, this is smart horse, Will. Was very good at the trials. Found a tough position. The first 2 home here, Rock All Night and one for Hamish O'Rett. I think they're both smart horses, and this horse probably should have won if it had got the right run. It's paying crazy money. 7 boosted, 6 the even money line. Draws a little niggly, but I think he's a really nice horse in the making, Will.
And for me, I've gone to Te Rapa on Saturday. This is in race number 7, Topsy-Turvy, beautifully bred filly. And the team have a bit of an opinion of this horse. Resumed this campaign with a very dominant win at Te Rapa, and I think it can go on with the job comfortably this time around in the Waikato stud colours. There's an overview of a look at all of our best bets across this week. Best of luck to everyone involved. Hopefully we can find you a winner or 2. You got the whale there as well with the 5. Beware the Storm, Ashburton race number 5 on Sunday. Long weekend, obviously, so plenty of racing coming your way over the next couple of days. Really looking forward to all of that action. Aidan, to you, big thank you. Bevan, to you as well. A big thank you for being part of the form this morning. And we look ahead to the weekend. We wish you the best of luck with your investments, and fingers crossed we found you some winners over the past hour. From us, a very good morning.